Welcome back to Big Time Fantasy Football. You're here with your hosts, Nick and Zach. It is now finally NFL draft season. It's coming up Thursday this week. I know I'm super excited. This is what, Dynasty's all about, getting all the new rookies in, getting those young studs. Super excited. Today we have a great video for you. We are also doing our own rookie mock draft. We do have some mock landing spots as well, provided by NFLDraft. They did a full 7-round mock. We're probably going to only touch on 2 rounds today, 12 teams, so we'll be going back and forth. But before we get into that, make sure you like, subscribe. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to let us know. Hit us in the comments what we get wrong, what we get right. Let's get into it.
Oh yeah, like you said, very exciting to get this mock and do a little exercise here. Obviously, these aren't the final landing spots, but just a fun one to kind of play and see if these were the spots, how we feel about these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the screen, you see these are the landing spots of the mock. Some interesting stuff, some things like Fernando Mendoza, number 1 overall, we kind of expected. Is there anything interesting about this in some of these landing spots that you see?
Carson Beck going early round 3 to the Cardinals is kind of interesting because he's a guy that I'm eyeing just to see where he goes and how the NFL actually feels about him. And then Chris Bell, a guy that you've heard linked with the Chiefs so much, they got him going to the Raiders here, which is definitely a different landing spot than the Chiefs, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. I do like, I see Omar Cooper Jr. there as the next guy after that big 3 group of receivers going to the Eagles with, A.J. Brown departing. There's definitely going to be a gap there and room for targets, so definitely an interesting spot there as well.
Later, too, we got Taylon Green going to the Ravens in round 5,
yeah.
Which is interesting. Makes sense. You want your backup to have a similar play style to your starter, so you're not missing too much of a beat. So that would be kind of fun to see him go there and be able to back up Lamar.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let me swap over here to Sleeper. All right, and I will be a very generous guy. I'll let you take the number 1 overall pick.
What a nice guy. And, it took a long time, a lot of weighing the options of who could I possibly go here. Went back and forth on some guys, but I think I'm going to settle on Jeremiah Love here.
Yeah, I don't think there's a question there.
Yeah, no, I kid, obviously. Easy 101 this year, which a lot of years you get a pretty straight cut forward 101. This year is no different.
Yeah, I agree. And, Titans, he's been mocked there for couple weeks now. Like it's a very good draft capital, 4th overall pick. Titans, they're an up and coming offense, let's call it. They do have new coaches there, and hopefully they can get it moving, get Cam Ward developed. It's just going to make the offense a lot better, and I think Love should take some off of his plate as well.
He should be a huge step forward with them, and honestly anywhere he landed except like backing up Bijan, like he was going to be the 101.
Yeah, we knew he was going to have a role here. So, all right, and this is a super flex mock draft. So, just for the positional value alone, I'm going to take Fernando Mendoza. Once again, really not surprised by his landing spot. It's been written in the stars since the end of the season that he was going to be, 101 to the Raiders. I do like the direction the Raiders are going as a team. We'll see if they can keep that momentum. They've been bad for a decent amount of time. There's hope. There's hope with Raiders fans, especially with Mendoza. He's a great prospect. Definitely the best quarterback in this class. I don't think there's a question on that either. So.
Yeah, and being the 101 and the the real NFL draft, that's going to put a lot of expectations on you, a lot of pressure. But then also at the same time, you're going to the Raiders, who haven't had anything good ever, so that takes some of the pressure off. You can't really make things too much worse around there. So, yeah, good call on that there with Mendoza. So if we're going into the 103 here. I think you kind of hear you take one of those 3 receivers, you take your favorite of them. My personal favorite, I think he has the most well-rounded game. I'm going to go with Carnell Tate. I think with this landing spot, we do have him going first of the three receivers in the real draft, but specifically to the Dolphins. With Malik Willis, he's a guy that I think can lead a competent offense, but I don't think he's going to be booming out as far as his wide receiver ones. I don't think they're going to be the best option. But if he does work out, then that'll work. And also, they have an out after 2 years, essentially. Really, they could replace him even sooner than that if it really wasn't working out. So I'm not too worried about that, even if it doesn't work out. So I'm just going with my favorite guy of the three, and that's Tate.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all. I think, Tate's not my favorite of the three. I really like Jordan Tyson, aside from the injuries. But the Dolphins landing spot, I think whoever they end up picking in this spot, even if it's not in first round, if it's in second round, that wide receiver room is just wide open. I think Malik Washington is the wide receiver one for them, which, he's got some talent. I like him as a late sleeper. But definitely not the wide receiver one you want for your team. So I think he's going to get a crap load of opportunities here in Miami.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this market share is there for him, certainly.
Yeah.
I think I know where you might be going with this next one, but I'll let you announce it then.
Yeah, I'm kind of in between, There's two stud receivers here still. We got Jordan Tyson or Mekhi Lemon. But Tyson in this mock, he ended up falling to the Cleveland Browns, which, I'm not super excited about that offense. Whereas Mekhi Lemon got the good landing spot, and he's with the Rams. That room is a little crowded, but this is Dynasty. You can wait for them to develop a little bit. So I think I'm going to take Mekhi Lemon here, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I know he's stuck behind Puka, and Devontae Adams is still there, but Matt Stafford is a great quarterback. You want him throwing your rookies the ball. He can sit behind Devontae Adams and Puka, two great receivers for a year. Maybe get in some 3 wide receiver sets, and then who knows? Maybe the year after, Devontae's gone, and he can flourish a little bit in that offense, especially with Sean McVay. He's an excellent play caller.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, you went a different route than I thought, but Lemon is a credible talent, and being in that Sean McVay offense, some targets are gonna eventually open up. Devontae can't play forever, so that's a good developmental pick there. My next guy, I guess I'll take the other one then. We'll go with Tyson off the board. Like I said, these are the big three receivers. Very talented stretch of receivers here. It's choose your flavor with them. So he's the best remaining. He was the only one remaining of the three. So I'm gonna go ahead and snag him here. Pretty easy decision for me.
Yeah. I like you said, there's not much question to it. We knew these three guys were pretty much going to be locked in next. Doesn't get the ideal landing spot, but there's not too many elite options in that room either. So maybe he could step up and raise the bar for the Cleveland Browns.
And as someone with Shedeur in his fantasy team, I'm a believer. So I think he'll take a huge step forward, and there'll be a good connection there.
It's good to hold on the hope, Now at the 106, this is where the draft really starts, in my opinion. And it's really going to be crucial where these guys will fall and which teams they go to during the actual NFL draft. So for that reason, in this case, I'm going to take Omar Cooper Jr. He did fall to the Eagles, and like I said, A.J. Brown has departed. He's a talented guy. He plays differently than Devontae Smith, who I think is going to take more of that outside role, whereas Omar Cooper Jr. can be, inside, outside. He's quick, and I think that's where he's going to really thrive in the NFL, and I think he can step into that number 2 role in the offense.
Yeah. I was actually hoping he would have your eyes somewhere, because this is a guy I am excited about, Omar Cooper Jr. I think he has very big boom potential in him. I see some things where he could maybe not work out, but he's one of the more exciting prospects. So definitely top of this kind of, I guess this would be third tier-ish. Definitely top of that. So good pick there, regardless of landing spot. But not a bad offense there to be stuck with. My next guy kind of makes me change my beat here. It's kind of two guys I'm in between, but I think I I think I'm going to get another running back off the board. We're going to go ahead and take Price. A guy that, just because 5 receivers in a row, it just looks like too much.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are thinking Sadiq in this range. Getting a tight end. I'm in the mindset where if someone is not a completely runaway generational tight end, I don't typically love to draft rookie tight ends, especially in the first round. And I know some people are higher than I am, but I don't think he's that type of can't miss guy for Sadiq. So we're going with Price, a guy who didn't get to show off all of his talents, being behind another talented running back that we've aforementioned here. But I think he does have a lot of things to offer, and I don't think that's too much of a knock on his game. And then here with him going to the where do you go here? I just saw him.
My Broncos.
To the Broncos, to Nick's Broncos. They do have another young running back, and Dobbins is still on the roster there, but Dobbins has an injury history, and the RJ Harvey on the roster as well. Obviously another guy to compete with, but he did show some things, but I don't think he did something where there's like he's 100% our guy or anything like that. So an opportunity could definitely arise for Price, and someone that I like that I think has shown a lot of things in college. Good skill set, quick, movie guy. So I'm going Price here.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. I do think if he did land with the Broncos, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. That offense is good. J.K. Dobbins, like you said, is prone to injury. I think he plays a different style from R.J. Harvey, so maybe they can grow together and be, a committee back. And as someone that's not like a crazy top talent in this draft, he could benefit from sitting behind, an established running back in our J.K. Dobbins, and then grow with R.J. Harvey as well. So I don't hate that pick at all. Right, that leaves me with an option here. I think I'm with you on the tight end take. I really don't like taking him this early in rookie drafts, unless it's like a tight end premium situation. Then the rules are a little bit different. But I do like. I'll come back because I'm gonna get another pick here. So I'm gonna take Casey Concepcion. He went to the Bills. Any receiver that plays with Josh Allen, I'm a fan of. They did just get DJ Moore, but I think he's 28, maybe 29. So he's getting up there a little bit. And then besides that, it's just fighting with Khalil Shakir for touches, because I don't think, Keon Coleman is really going to be that stud. He really hasn't shown it. And, maybe completely flips. But, he could easily work his way onto that depth chart and work his way into some targets.
Yeah, no. Concepcion is a guy that I think a lot of people are high on. There's some things that scare me with him. But yeah, I think he's the best available there. Continue our run with receivers with the small break that we had there.
Yeah. At least we broke it.
There's a couple different ways to go. At this point, is Sadiq becoming enough of value to where I want him? There's Denzel Boston staring there at me. But what I think I'm going to do here is I will actually chase the quarterback and we'll go with Ty Simpson. So, which in this mock, funny enough, we do have Ty Simpson would be throwing the ball to Denzel Boston. But yeah, I'm going Ty Simpson. He's on the Jets, which means there's 0% chance he does work out. But maybe he'll break that curse, and that would be talented there. He is a guy that we mentioned in our QB breakdown that I got boosted up list just because he's the second best quarterback in a weak quarterback class. So higher than he probably normally would have been drafted. But if he is getting this type of capital, that means they're at least going to give him 3 years to try him out. So, I'm going Ty Simpson and hope that he can do something.
Yeah, you hit it right on the nose. Jets quarterbacks just players in general just never really end up working out. But he's going to get a chance to sit behind Geno Smith. He's the prime example. Like, he never worked out on the Jets, and then he ended up having a couple moments here and there where he showed that he can actually play in the league. So maybe those experiences will help him break the curse or something. I don't know. But
something I did want to mention, actually, what I meant to mention a couple picks ago, is if I'm anywhere in this draft, if I'm anywhere from the 107-ish to the 112, this is somewhere I would look to trade. I would, if you can, find a trade partner that would give you a first for next year and a second round this year to trade up and get a guy that they like. That is something that I would definitely be eyeing, just because I feel like none of these guys are not bad prospects, but not like runaway, blowout, first round talent draft picks. So a spot I'd be looking to move out of personally.
Yeah, and I don't hate that take at all. We've talked already a few times about how this class is just not. It's really not the strongest draft class at any position. Maybe receivers is on par with some of the other draft classes in recent history, but just not the strongest. And I know that next year's draft class is stacked with like receivers, quarterbacks, running backs, you name it. So continuing here, I have the 10th pick. I am going to break the seal here at tight end, but I think I'm going to go with Eli Stowers over Kenyon Sadiq. Both prospects really good. Both prospects lit it up at the combine. I just don't like the production that Sadiq had at Oregon. If he's such this great tight end talent, why did you not produce like it? And why weren't you trusted to do that? Plus, I just prefer the New England Patriots landing spot over the Carolina Panthers landing spot. Hunter Henry is currently the Patriots' #1 tight end, and he's a big touchdown guy. You can count on him to get a touchdown at least every 2 weeks. So hopefully Stowers can grow into that role. He's a big body target, so he's definitely going to be a receiving threat if he goes there.
Yeah, and pairing him with a young quarterback that he can grow with. Still early in his career, they're changing the receiver room a little bit, so still looking for his go-to guys. So yeah, definitely could grow with May and be one of his top targets, no doubt. So not a bad pick there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep letting Sadiq slide because I do like Denzel Boston here. If like I said, my advice was to trade out. If you don't, Denzel Boston, I think is a good takeaway. I know technically in this format I wouldn't be pairing him up, but for what we're doing, I'm pairing him up with Ty Simpson. Get points for going both ways. He's just a big body end zone threat, a guy that can get you a good amount of points with not a lot of catches, just being a red zone target and a deep ball, go up and get the ball type of guy. So, free, easy points for Denzel Boston. Again, don't love the Jets as a landing spot, but still, I think the talent is worth taking a shot at.
Yeah. I mean, if you were to take Sadiq, he was definitely my next guy off the board. Let me put him on here for you. But I think he'll fit really nicely alongside Garrett Wilson as well. Garrett Wilson will soak up a lot of the intermediate and some of the short work, but he's more of a deep ball guy anyways. And, Geno proved at certain points that he can get it done. So at least in the short term, like, he could be involved, and I see a role for him for sure. Going at the 112, end of the first round. I'm between two here. Do I keep letting Sadiq slide? I think he's worth a first round pick in this year's rookie draft, but also I really like the landing spot of the guy I'm actually going to take, which is Mike Washington Jr., the guy who lit up the combine, very fast, very quick runner, and he falls to the Seattle Seahawks in this mock draft. We don't know. I don't think Charbonnet is going to be healthy at the start of the season. And when he is healthy, it's going to take him a minute to really come back to form. And they really don't have too many other guys. I think the next up currently is Emmanuel Wilson. So definitely whoever the Seahawks take, whether it's the end of the first round, whether it's end of the second round like it is here, I'm definitely looking to whoever that running back is come NFL draft time. And I'm definitely going to be targeting him towards the back half of this first round of rookie drafts.
Yeah, no, definitely a guy with the path for opportunities there. So not a pick whatsoever. My next guy, I think I will just have to go ahead and take Sadiq at this point. A guy with the first round talent. I mean, if he's dropping here, I probably even would have considered him at the 111 here. So definitely a talent. I don't want what I said earlier to make it sound like I don't think this guy is good at football, but it's just more so my policy on tight ends. But I think he is good, especially if you can snag him at the beginning of the second round. That would be lovely. Definitely take him if he drops this far. I really wanted to go with my boy Nick Singleton, but taking 3 Jets in a row, or 3, my last 4 picks being Jets, just didn't feel right. And then also, he's going to be fighting with Breece Hall. There's already enough question marks around Singleton as it is, so I think I just got to go with Sadiq here. Safer pick for me.
Yeah, I think that was probably the best option there. Like I said, I do think he's worth a first-round pick. I personally prefer Eli Stowers over him, but he's still a talented guy. You do need tight ends. But yes, I am on.
I think one of those drafts where you want, unless you're way higher on Stowers, where if you are looking for a tight end, I would almost recommend. Well, never mind. That's not how drafts work. I was going to say wait until one of the tight ends goes to take the other one. But if you have the 107, you can't just wait and see. It's not how drafts work. It turns out. That's so true. Never mind. Scratch that.
I mean, talking to that point, if you are at the 107 spot, maybe you can trade down to 110, 111. I'm sure one of them is going to go at 8 or 9, depending on your league. I don't think both of them will go before 110 or 111. So if you are able to trade down, get a little bit of extra compensation, wouldn't be the worst idea.
Yeah.
Right. I am next up here. There's a couple different ways I could go here. I think I am going to take. Yep, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take our next quarterback here. I'm going to take Garrett Nussmeier, actually. In this mock draft, he did fall to the 3rd round, and he went to the Steelers, which, Aaron Rodgers still, for some reason, has not let the team know whether he's coming back or not.
Which is crazy. Yeah. I mean, the draft's around the corner. They need to have a plan. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah. As a professional, just dragging it out like this, just tell them that you don't want to go to training camp, But also, when we were talking about prospects and quarterbacks, we were saying he kind of reminds us of Aaron Rodgers a little bit, that gunslinger mentality, So even if Aaron Rodgers does come back, which I think would be best for Nussmeier in this case, he can learn under him, and we know that Aaron Rodgers isn't the best mentor for his backup quarterbacks, but he knows that he's only got a few years left, so hopefully he can learn from him at least by watching, and I think that'll just help him grow, and he could be a very suitable quarterback in the future.
Yeah, no, definitely. If he can at least do what Jordan Love did, and even if you're not being taught, soak some of that up, then definitely a chance there. A little earlier than I've seen Nussmeier going, but here in the second round, it's go get your guys is how I feel about it. So if you have him higher than consensus, then screw the consensus. Go get your guy. So. Which here, I try to hold off on it, but I think I just have to go Nick Singleton here. Just the type of guy that I really like in drafts, just a discount, basically. He showed us that he had all the talent in the world, and then he had a down season, so he plummeted stock and everything. But to me, he showed us that he can do it. He showed us that he has the talent to be like that, and there could be multiple factors for a down season. Who's to say? Which doesn't always bode well. But a chance at seeing a guy that has a talent profile like that, I'm gonna go chase every time. But the Jets not the ideal landing spot with Brees in front of them, but there's been past tensions with Brees. Guys can always go down. They can always add another guy into the rotation. So yeah, I'm going with Nick Singleton here.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, at least for this year, you're scared for Brees Hall in front of him, but he's on I believe he's franchise tagged for the second year in a row, I believe.
I believe that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and obviously there's been tension there, so I don't think there's any way that he's returning the year after. So it's up to him and Braylon Allen from there, and we both agree we like his talent, and he can be that 3-down guy. He can be a stud in the next level.
Yeah.
All right, I am going to go with my next pick here. I think I'm gonna play the mock draft card and the landing spot card again. I'm going to go with Jeremy Bernard. Definitely a weird name, but a well-rounded receiver. He showed flashes. He goes to a 49er system, which that receiving room is kind of up in the air. I know they just got Mike Evans this year, but he's on the back end of his career. Who knows how long he'll be able to do it for still. And 49ers players always get hurt, so there's always going to be at least a sliver of an opportunity to get on the field that way as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. They go through skill positions like nobody else. So he'll play. If he gets drafted there, he will play at some point. So it'll just be up to him to make a name for himself when he does get those snaps. So I'm really kind of strongly in between two guys that I like, maybe more than a consensus here. But I think what I'll do is, it's coin toss. Hopefully just don't take the other guy. Really is all it comes down to. I'm going to take Chris Bell here. Yeah.
That was my next pick.
Another guy on a value deal. His for different reason. His isn't due to down performance. His is due to an injury. I did see a report in the last couple of days that he's ahead of schedule. Actually, from what is time seeing NFL teams, they deduced that. So that's a good sign. Again, a guy that was a lot of mocks may have going to the Chiefs, which if that's the case, get him up to the 110, the 9 to the 111 area, definitely bumps him up there. But here, Mendoza, again, is going to be looking for his guys, and it's not like the Raiders have the best wide receiver room in the league to where there's a bunch of guys ahead of him that he'd be fighting for. So I like the talent of Chris Bell. If he really is progressing well, then health shouldn't be too much of a problem for him, so he can build something with Mendoza.
Yeah, and you definitely sniped me there. That was where I was going next. That, like you said, the receiving room. Obviously, you got Brock Bowers as the real number one receiver in that room. But besides that, I think it's like Trey Tucker, Dante Thornton, who hasn't really worked out. And then you got Jack Besh, who also really hasn't worked out. I know it's all very young players, but, I think he can easily find opportunity there and be able to grow in a role there.
Definitely.
All right. My next guy, I think I'm going to take your Cowboy, Elijah Surratt. I think his play style is very similar to like a Brandon Cooks in a way. I think we'll see how long the Pickens CeeDee Lamb combo is going to stay in Dallas. It will likely depend on how successful they are this year. And if anything, those are two great receivers that he's going to be able to look to and learn from and really develop his game. Also, I believe Cowboys run a very high percentage of 3 wide receiver sets as well. So maybe he can get on the field that way. Dak slings the ball. Cowboys offense just definitely likes to air it out a lot of the time. So I think he could produce this year, but mostly in this range, I'm looking to match not just opportunity, but the talent that I seen in the prospect. And I think he's a good match there as well.
Yeah, no, I agree with all that. And yeah, being a pass catcher in the Cowboys offense it's a great situation to be in. You love to throw it, and we always have, one of the highest scoring offenses in the league. So opportunities and touches there. So cannot be mad at that. Next guy, couple different ways I could go here, but I'm going to take the other guy that I mentioned from last time. Actually, there might be a guy that I like more than, but I'm going to stick with what I said. We're going to go with Zachariah Branch here. A speedy guy, a guy that's going to get work in the return games for both punts and kickoffs. So, which is valued higher nowadays with the new kickoff rules. So, and if he brings one back, that's extra points for. His biggest knock is how he was used in college. Just that he was like a short target, manufactured target merchant type situation. And that's not to say that he can't do other things. I think that's just the situation and what he was asked to do. But he's a speedy guy, great in open space. He has the potential to break off every touch into a touchdown and make some guys miss. So a guy that I can be excited about. And, going over there to the Steelers, who, touches to be had, for sure, is what I'll say with that.
Yeah. And, there's one big question about Steelers is like who is going to play that quarterback position this year. And I know they picked up Michael Pittman, so you got DK and Michael Pittman in front of him. But I feel like he's a guy that really will bring the energy and bring that toughness and make the big plays. So he can definitely work himself onto the field. But I don't think talent is the question here. It's more opportunity as far as I'm concerned. So.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about Pittman, but Pittman is never was never someone that I was super high on. And when he got traded for a sixth, it's not like they're super high on him. Obviously, they wanted to go get him, but they would only give a six for him. So, yeah, but that is another person to fend off. You're right.
Fair. Right, my next pick. I think I'm between two guys here. Both receivers. Very shocking. I'm going to go with Chris Brazzell II. In this mock draft, he fell to which round was it? He fell to the 4th round, and he went to the Giants, which I think across from Malik Neighbors, he can really work. Just like, Denzel Boston, how he went to the Jets, he's going to be opposite of, Garrett Wilson. Malik Neighbors is probably going to take over a lot of the short to intermediate, and Chris Brazzell, he's definitely a deep threat guy. You got Jackson Dart looking really good, and I think that's what the Giants offense was kind of missing, just that field stretcher. They tried a couple times with a couple different receivers, but it just never really worked out in their favor. But I really liked him when we were doing our prospect models of all of these guys, and I think the Giants is like a great fit for him. It's just he fell to the 4th round in this mock, so we'll see how much commitment they actually have to him if they stick it out. Hopefully it works out for him. But.
Yeah, with these later guys, kind of like you alluded to, it is hard to tell how committed they are to him if they're taking later rounds. But it's not like quarterback where if they fall past the 3rd round, the hit rate is just 0 all of a sudden. So, definitely a guy that could work out there. And then my next one, again, I keep on being in between two guys, but I think what I want to do here is we'll go with Jonah Coleman, just to get some green on the board instead of all the blue that you've been seeing. But yeah, I don't know what happened to my brain, but I cannot remember the name of anybody ever. Alvin Kamara is the guy that has been around and killing fantasy football for years. Alvin Kamara, he's definitely on a downslope. I mean, he had a semi-productive year last year for what it was. But that being said, he can't stick around forever. That should open up some touches, and I think Jonah Coleman is one of the more, definitely a top 5 to 7 talent as far as running backs in this class. So if you do need a running back, I think a lot of people would have taken Coleman maybe even earlier than this. So at this point, I think it's just a value pick.
Yeah, and I mean, don't forget about Travis Etienne Achan is now a Saint as well. So he'll be in that room with him as well.
I completely forgot about Achan. I did remember Etienne coming over,
Do you want to repick
which sucks for Etienne, right? No, I said I put it on the board. There's no take backsies. So,
yeah, I think he could fit with Etienne as well. Jonah Coleman's, like we said, he's more of that bowling ball type of guy. He's going to be a hard-nosed runner, and Etienne, that'll free up more of those outside runs for him, more in the passing game. But yeah, I think he would still be able to work with Etienne as well. So, all right, and getting into my next guy, you did not take him. I'm gonna take Skylar Bell. Let me find him here. Yeah, Skylar Bell, out of UConn. Not in our top 5 receivers really, but he went to the Saints as well, and he's behind Chris Olave, and I think he's really going to be competing for targets with like Devon Vele and whatever other scrubs they really got there. Tyler Shuck proved that he can sling it this past year. So he's not going to be a number 1 in the offense, but he definitely has a different skill set from Chris Olave. So I think they can pair up together, and towards this part of the draft, you do have to look for opportunity and where these guys are going to get a chance at opportunity. Plus, he was a 3rd-round pick, Day 2 pick, not crazy good draft capital, not bad. So.
Yeah, no. It's a good formula there, taking a guy with opportunity here in the late rounds is what you want to do. So yeah, good pick there. And then we'll be going up my last pick of this draft here. We'll go with Brennan Thompson. And I have some pretty thorough analysis for this Chiefs. He's on the Chiefs.
End of list.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Kelsey's getting older. So, eventually that'll free up some targets. Rice, is he going to play a season ever? Who knows? Yeah, so I think there's this opportunity, and when you get Chiefs offense with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, then those guys tend to fly at boards, just how it goes, how it naturally goes. It usually doesn't work out, but still the formula makes sense as to why. So yeah, going Brennan Thompson here. A smaller, speedy guy, but that can fit in the Chiefs offense for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And another team that's been, looking for that field stretcher, I think, ever since Tyreek left, and Patrick Mahomes can chuck that ball deep, so if he can really fit into that role. I know he's smaller, but he's really good at the deep ball. Yeah, that could work out really well for him. Could be a steal.
Problem is, he will be always seeing 2 high safeties. No one plays the Chiefs without dropping back 2 high safeties, so he's always gonna have to deal with that. But yeah, still.
All right, and going to the final pick in this mock draft. You know what, we haven't taken many running backs, so I'm going to take one here. Emmett Johnson, running back from Nebraska. He falls to the Texans in this mock draft, and they did just acquire David Montgomery, but he's obviously more of the ground and pound type of back. There is Woody Marks there as well, another young running back, and he showed flashes, but obviously they went out and signed and traded for David Montgomery, so they don't think he's really the answer. And if they pick Emmett Johnson here, I think he'll be a great, passing game complement at first. And as we said during the prospect profiles, he is a capable runner as well. And once David Montgomery, gets up there in age, maybe a couple years, he's going to be either out of the league or off of the Texans. So maybe Emmett Johnson can grow and develop into even more expanded role as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. A chance for growth is all you want with almost a 3rd-round pick basically here. So there's the chance that there's some seeds there is really what you're chasing at this point. So yeah, that's all 24 picks of the first 2 rounds for us. So excited for the NFL draft, and then to get into the to our rookie drafts as well. I don't ever have a first round pick, so I always trade them away. But looking for some guys to snipe at the back of the second. So
I mean, as we said, this is the year. If you're gonna trade it away, this is the year to do it. I think we're gonna end up getting one or two surprising guys out of this list. I think. But it's really going to depend on landing spot, who gets that opportunity that we're not expecting. So,
yeah, I think the receivers are going to be all over the place because this is how NFL.com thinks the NFL sees them. But the actual boards of these teams are probably so different. So all these guys are probably flip-flopping, swapping positions, which really is going to change a lot of things, which is so exciting to see. Someone's going to drop, someone's going to rise, and that's what the draft's all about, baby.
Sir, I'm pumped.
Let's go. All right. Well, that is all that we have for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're going to do another one of these once the post-draft so we can see the real landing spots. We'll do some more, analysis, breakdowns, rankings, different stuff like that. So stay tuned. We'll do it big time. Have a good one.
All right, see you guys.